Hello and welcome back. This week's video, we're going to be talking about the Bluetti AC200L 2,400 watt power station and pairing it with the PV350, which is a Bluetti 350 watt solar panel. I'd like to thank Bluetti for sending us the AC200L power station and the PV350 solar panels. They sent it to us at no cost so that we could do a review of them. As always though, this is my own personal opinion of this. Bluetti did not give me any direction on what I had to say, what not to say, and they have not seen this video before it comes out. Over the past year, we've been taking steps to becoming more self-reliant so that we don't need electricity when camping. It's a lot easier to get a reservation for a non-electric campsite than it is for an electric campsite. There's way more non-electric campsites out there than electric. We camp in a 25-foot travel trailer, and we like to have some power. Our first step was to swap out our 185 amp hour lead acid battery for two 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries. That was a big change right there. That allowed us to go from less than a day of power to about 5 or 6 days of power when conserving. The next step was to find a way to charge the lithium iron phosphate batteries. Also, we don't have an inverter in the trailer to use the batteries to power the AC devices. So anything that has a standard household plug. So all the plugs in there only work when plugged into shore power. The battery or DC power charges things like the lights, furnace, water heater, things like that. So we wanted a way that we could use the AC or household power throughout the trailer. We had a few options we could go with. We could go with a gas or propane generator. We could go with a solar system, such as one that's attached to the roof of the trailer and hardwired into the trailer, or we can go with a portable solar generator. We decided what's best for us is the portable option. There's a couple of reasons for that. I have a portable gas generator. Never been a fan of using it. It is an inverter generator, so they say it is much quieter, and it certainly is much quieter than a construction type generator. But still, it's a gas engine running, and in my mind, it is noisy. When I go camping, I don't want to hear an engine running. I really didn't like that at all, and I wanted to go with a solar type setup. Now, the reason I chose portable over permanent is because we mostly camp at Ontario provincial parks, and they are more wilderness camping. We usually have a pretty good tree canopy. So if we had solar mounted to the roof of the trailer, we'd have to position the trailer in a way that it could get the most sun possible on the solar panels. Well, that's usually not possible when you're camping in a provincial park. There's one spot for your camper on the site, and that's where you park it. And for us, that usually means there's very limited sunlight on the roof of the trailer. We might get an hour a day, and that's not going to charge up the batteries. Plus, having a permanent system is very expensive. In order to do it, I don't have the ability to wire it out. I'm not an electrician. I'm not an electronics guy. I wouldn't be able to wire it out myself, or wouldn't feel comfortable in attempting to do that. So I'd have to take it to a place to get it set up. Now, a portable system like this one, Bluetti is a great name in the power station industry. It's one of the top 3 out there. You hear the name all the time. Having a power station like this, that gives you the benefits of solar power to charge up your batteries and to operate your AC devices in the trailer. And when it's off season, you can take it inside the house, and power outages, things like that, you've got full power. It can operate inside the house. It doesn't need to off gas. It doesn't have exhaust like a gas or propane generator would. So let's have a look at the unboxing of the product, and then we'll get into the features. So the AC200L is 2,400 watts of power. So you can have a combined wattage usage of 2,400 watts. However, in powerlifting mode, you can get right up to 3,600 watts. Now it has an internal battery of 2,048 watt hours. For those of us that like to relate that to lithium batteries, that would be about a 170 amp hour battery. And you can buy expandable batteries for it to increase its battery capacity to 8,192 watt hours. Now, that's probably not something you're going to bring camping with you, but it is great for a home backup system. You can reach that potential by buying 2 B300 batteries. This power station can be charged from 0% to 80% from a standard household outlet in about 45 minutes. That is lightning fast. And it can take up to 1,200 watts of solar panels. Now, I doubt very much that I would bring with me 1,200 watts of solar panels when camping, because your campsite would pretty much look like a solar farm. But it does have that capability. And depending on your usage, you might want to do that and have all those solar panels. Now let's have a look at the power station itself. It's 62 pounds and has dimensions of 16.5 inches by 11 inches by 14.4 inches. It has a lithium iron phosphate battery. The power button operates on a simple push and the green light illuminates. Below that are the DC outlets. There's a cigarette lighter type outlet, 12 volts and 10 amps. Below that is a 48 volt, 8 amp DC outlet, and I'm not really sure what it's for. I believe it's for future development where this will be able to be plugged directly into an electrical system. To enable the DC outputs, you press this DC button. Beside that are the USB outlets. There are 2 USB-C 100 watt outlets and 2 USB-A 5 volt 3 amp outlets. To enable the USB outlets, you press the USB button. To the right are the AC outlets. There are 4 20 amp outlets like a standard outlet in your house. Then there's the 30 amp travel trailer outlet. To enable the AC outlets, you press the AC button. On the left side of the power station are your inputs. Top left is the DC input. It's protected by a screw-on plastic cap. It is 12 to 145 volts for obtaining power from your car via cigarette lighter or from solar panels. Below that is your AC input, charging from a regular household outlet or a generator. The plugs for both AC and DC inputs are included. This is to plug in external batteries, such as the B300 3072 watt-hour battery, and you can have up to 2 stacked together. Then there is a circuit protector and a ground outlet. When you turn on the power, the screen illuminates. If there are no further inputs, the screen will turn off after 30 seconds. Pressing any of the power buttons turns the screen back on. On the screen, we can see the DC input, the DC output, the AC input, and the AC output. The blue circle indicates power remaining, and the number in the center tells you power remaining in a percentage. The number below that tells you how long in hours until you run out of power at this usage rate. Now, all this information you see on the screen here, you can also see on the Bluetti app. There's a free app you download, and it gives you all the same information, and you can control the unit from that app. I really like that. I find it very convenient. I can be inside the trailer, have this outside the trailer, and I can go ahead and have a look and see how this unit is doing. I can turn off ports and turn on ports if I want to. I can put it into surge mode. I can put it into regular mode. I can do anything on it, and I can see everything that it's doing. How much is going out, how much is coming in, everything. It's a great thing. I love having that app on the phone. Now let's have a look at the solar panel. Closed up in a position like this, it's approximately 3 feet by 2 feet. When you open it up, it has 4 panels, and it's approximately 8 feet by 3 feet. It has a pouch on the front of it, right here, that you can store your cords in it. I have all the cords so that it is ready to plug right into the power station right now. There is 9 feet of cord for it, so you can be a pretty good distance away from the power station with the solar panel. Now, each section comes with its own leg that just is Velcroed to it, and you pull it out, and you set it at whatever level you want for the angle on the solar panel. Now, these have some resistance to them, so when you let them go, they go right back into place. Makes it really easy for opening up and taking down the solar panels. There's a couple tabs on the top to keep it all together when you're carrying it. And there's 2 carry handles right on top. It weighs approximately 30 pounds. Now, these panels are splash proof, but they are not waterproof. So these aren't the type of panels that you leave outside in all types of weather. If it's pouring rain out, bring in the panels. Probably not doing you much good collecting any sunshine then anyway. When you're actively charging the power station, by any means, solar panel, outlet, whatever, you can still use the power station. It'll just show how much is coming in and how much is going out. If you have more coming in than going out, well, it's going to stay topped up. If you have less coming in than going out, well, it's just going to drain a little bit slower than if it wasn't charging. Another key feature for this that I really like is it is an uninterruptible power supply, or a UPS. So if you have sensitive devices, medical devices such as a CPAP or something, and you rely on that when you're sleeping, well, you can be in your trailer, you can be plugged into shore power, you can have this plugged into the outlet in the trailer, and your CPAP plugged into this. If power goes out in the trailer, which sometimes does when you're camping, within 20 milliseconds, this will switch on and take over. So there'll be no interruption in the medical device. Now, if you're camping without power, again, this thing will power your CPAP or any other medical device, and it will do it for a very long time. If your CPAP is running at about 60 watts, it'll take over 30 hours to drain this thing down. And I don't think you're going to be sleeping 30 hours at once. So you have plenty of time to recharge it. To set it up, undo the clips and put it on its side. Open the 2 center panel legs and place them down, then open each of the outer panel legs and put them down. Plug the solar charging cable into the solar panel cable at one end, and on the other end into the DC input cable. I just leave them attached and in the bag of the solar panel. Then plug the DC input cable into the side of the AC200L. Completely set up, fast and easy. It currently says that it is bringing in 230 watts, and it'll be charged in about 10 minutes. It is at 99%. But as you can see, we get a lot of sun in this site right now, so this is great. It's a beautiful sunny day. We were able to bring in a lot of power to fully top up our power station. Now, if you go a couple of days where it is cloudy and you can't get any sun, or you're just in the type of site that you can't get any sun, you can charge it up using AC current. So a suggestion might be that if you have a friend that's camping nearby that has an electrical site, you can ask to go and plug into there. It's 0 to 80% in 45 minutes. A full charge in less than an hour and a half. That's pretty amazing. There's not a lot of other power stations that can do that. If you don't have a friend, or you don't feel comfortable in asking somebody else if you can use the electricity at their site, perhaps you could go to the comfort station. They usually have electrical outlets, especially if they have a laundry room. You can plug in there. You plugged in there for half an hour, get this thing topped up. If it's a nice day and you just don't have the sun on your site and you're heading to the beach, bring it with you to the beach. Set it up there. You're going to get a lot of power there. I've had this system for a few months now, and I put it through a few tests. Let's have a look at some of those. I have a 60-watt auto cooler here. It doesn't have a compressor or a thermostat. It just runs at the same level no matter what the outside temperature is. I'll plug it in using the cigarette lighter. Time is now 10:05 a.m. It's been about 10 hours, 67%. 23 hours, 21%. Still 52 watts. It says 7 more hours to go. 24 hours and it's at 16% with 5.3 hours remaining. It just died at 16:45 on day number 2. Now let's charge it up by plugging the AC charging cable into the AC200L and the other end of the wall, and we'll put it on turbo mode. Quiet mode charges up to 800 watts, standard mode charges up to 1200 watts, and turbo mode charges up to 2400 watts. Our electrical system in our house only allowed it to charge at 1400 watts. If you look right here, it shows it is on turbo mode. At exactly 1 hour, we're at 65%, and it's at input of 1,406 watts. It says 0.5 hours till full. As it gets closer to 100%, the wattage goes down. We're at 851 watts right now. It just reached 100%. It took 1 hour and 48 minutes to fully charge. So I opened up the 350 watt solar panel, plugged it into the AC200L power station. The power station, for charging, it's supposed to be between 0 degrees Celsius and 40 degrees Celsius, which is 32 Fahrenheit to 104 Fahrenheit. For operating it, like for discharging it, it can be minus 20 Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. It's currently minus 2 degrees Celsius right now, but the sun is shining very bright, and I decided to have the power station in the sun, which would help to warm it up a little bit. It does have a battery management system in it. If it is too cold, it won't charge. So it seems to be charging right now. I think the sun is warming it up. Normally in the summertime, I would tuck the power station in behind the solar panels so it doesn't overheat. The legs are sturdy and easy to use. The solar panel is bringing in 328 watts. The power station is at 60% capacity, and at this rate, it will be fully charged in 2.6 hours. So let's check in on the Bluetti app right now. I logged into the AC200L, and it is currently showing 312 watts, and it is at 62% capacity right now. The wattage varies a little bit. It's rare that you're actually going to get the full wattage out of a panel. It's a 350 watt panel, but in order for it to get 350 watts, it has to be perfect conditions. It is a beautiful day. It is a cloud-free day right now, but it is minus 2 degrees, and I probably don't have the panels exactly right to the sun, but we're getting a pretty good wattage, 313 watts, and I'm pretty happy with that. This should only take a couple of hours to go from our original 56% right up to 100%. So far so good. So I wanted to test this out with multiple inputs. So I plugged my 3,000 watt generator into my power station and put it in turbo mode. It was getting about 1,400 watts. And then it showed that when I plugged it into the solar panel, that it was also getting the power from the solar panel. So it's combining that. So you can go above what the grid can give you, above the electricity, by plugging it into a solar panel too. So it speeds it up real fast. Let's charge up a bunch of devices that I'd normally take on a camping trip. Cooler, phone, flashlight, 3 microphones, 6 camera batteries, watch, and a laptop. It's showing a DC output of 71 watts and an AC output of 65 watts. It could keep this up for 11.8 hours. Now let's go outside and charge up 2 e-bike batteries while simultaneously using solar to charge the AC200L. The solar panel is bringing in 335 watts, and the AC output is 164 watts. Now this is my favorite part about this unit right here. So I'm plugged into the trailer. It's a 30 amp plug. Got a 30 amp outlet right here. Plug it directly into the power station. Don't need any type of adapter, anything like that. Direct plug in, 30 amps power. Love it. Let's turn on the power. So it's drawing 161 watts right now. I went inside, there's actually nothing running. It's doing all that by charging up the batteries, along with a little bit of regular power drain that happens because some things are running inside the trailer. Yeah, so now the big test. Let's see what happens when I put on the AC. Now let's have a look at the Bluetti app. It's currently drawing 176 watts right now. That's charging the 2 batteries on the trailer and with the lights on in the trailer. So now we're going to do the big test. I have never tried this before. This is the first time we're going to see if air conditioning works. So let's set the thermostat. Bring the temperature down to make sure it comes on. Set it to 65. 886 watts, 441 watts, 440 watts. That's just the fan coming on. That's not the AC actually kicking in. It'll take a second to come on. And there's the AC. Look at that, 2.4 kilowatts. 2.5, 2.4. So the air conditioning is actually running. Bluetti is at its max right now. I expect that it will go down from 2.4 kilowatts, but we'll see. We'll see how long it runs like this. So I came right out to the Bluetti. If you look right here, it is putting out 2,186 watts. It says it'll run this for 1 hour. So that is at 1 hour. But so this machine can do it. Now I should note that I do have a soft start on the air conditioner. So that prevents a great big boost that's normally needed to start the air conditioner. But once it's started, it will definitely run for maybe an hour. But it's enough to cool the trailer down for a little bit. If you're trying to go to bed at night, it's super hot, you can cool it down for 15 minutes or so, and you still have plenty of power left. So as you can tell, this thing is blasting. Definitely nice cool air coming out of here. So the air conditioning is working. I'm going to close that to quiet it a little bit. And we can see we're at about 1.8 kilowatts being used now. So it has settled down. And of that 1.8, you got to realize it's still charging the batteries on the trailer. So if the batteries were full, it would be like 165 watts less than what it is right now. So we might get a little bit more than an hour out of this if the air conditioning was running non-stop for an hour, which it usually doesn't do that. It comes on and off. You know, it cools the place down. It's a small area, cools it down and turns off, and then when it warms up again, it comes back on. So you can see here it has settled down to about 1,800 watts, and it still says about an hour, 0.9 hours now, and it's at 89%. It did start at 98%, I believe, and now it's down to 89%. So we know this power station can run the air conditioning on my trailer. I've got a 13,500 BTU air conditioner with a soft start. So I've taken it next door to a friend's trailer, 13,500 BTU air conditioner without a soft start. We're going to see if this can run it. Okay, turned on the AC port. Actually, we're down to about 45 watts of output into the trailer. I hear the air conditioning is coming on now. That's just the fan. It's at 304 watts. In a few seconds, the actual air conditioner will kick on. See, look. There, it kicked on. 1,932 watts. And it's working. It started up this air conditioner. That's the most important part right there. It started it up. So it'll have no problem running this air conditioner. And the level should go down a little bit. It's currently at 1,896 watts. Let's just give it a minute. Okay, so the Bluetti leveled out at about 1,400 watts, and it says it should be able to do that for about an hour and a half. So it can do it. A regular air conditioner, rooftop air conditioner for your trailer without a soft start, this will run it. That to me is amazing. I've been using the AC200L for a couple of months now, and there are some tricks that I have learned about using it in the most efficient manner. One thing that kind of bothered me is when I would first plug the trailer into this and turn it on, it would immediately go to start charging up the trailer batteries. At times, that's a small draw, 160, 165 watts. At other times, that was a big draw in the area of 700 watts. So I might just want to turn this on in order to run the microwave or to run the air conditioning for a few times. I turn it on, before even running those devices, it's showing 700 watts just running the trailer. So I didn't like that very much. There could be a situation where Cheryl wants to watch TV, I'd be on the laptop, we wanted to charge up a few devices. We wanted to have the trailer plugged into this so that it can do that and use all those AC sources. But when this is taking 700 watts just to charge up the trailer batteries, that's not ideal. It's going to drain this thing very quickly. And I realized at the end of a trip, I don't need to have full batteries on my trailer. I don't need to be at 100%. If I'm down to 20%, I'm okay with that. When I get home, I'm going to plug in and I'm going to refill. So reduce stress and make it so I don't have to charge this up as often. A simple trick I've learned is I go into the electrical panel and turn off the converter. The converter is what takes the shore power, converts it to DC, to run your DC devices and to charge your battery. If you turn the converter off, it won't charge your battery, and the shore power won't be used to run your DC devices. Your batteries will be used to run your DC devices. So you'll still have everything running like normal, but you won't be charging your batteries, and you won't be draining this thing so quickly. In summary, the AC200L is a big, powerful solar generator. It's not for everyone. Ideally, it's for the person wanting to do extended RV camping trips without hookups. If you're looking to just do something like charge up a couple of phones, a laptop, something like that, well then maybe this isn't the unit for you. There are other units that Bluetti offers, such as the AC2A, that is a 300 watt power station. You might want to check the Bluetti website to see the range of power stations and range of solar panels. The big selling feature for me is right here, this 30 amp plug. I don't need any adapter to plug my trailer directly into it, and I don't have a loss of power. I'm able to run everything in my trailer, including the air conditioner. I also like that it's virtually silent and I can run it indoors. In the off season, I can keep it at home and use it for power outages or other situations where portable power might be an asset. Now, in terms of price, obviously the more powerful the power station is and the bigger the solar panel is, the more money it costs. I'll put a link to the Bluetti website and you can check out current prices. And with that, thanks for watching, and now it's time to go camping.